Welcome to Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
This is Sailing San Diego, July 2021. While on a family vacation in San Diego, I chartered a bareboat in San Diego Bay, and my son Michael and I, along with Scott, went sailing for the day. I had chartered with this company previously, and it doesn't seem like they've updated the boats since a couple years ago when I was here. Anyway, the boat wasn't great, but the parts that needed to worked well, for the most part. My favorite part about sailing from San Diego Bay is that you get to choose your wind in a way. If you stay within the bay, the wind's not as strong as it is out on the open water. And making the run down toward the Coronado Bridge, you get to sail past the Midway, which you can see here, and there's always seems to be a good following breeze that's not particularly strong. On this occasion, we decided to sail mostly on just the jib and only put a little bit out of the main. I was trying to get to know the boat and experiment with the sails a little bit. Here's a great view of the Midway and folks waving at us from the flight deck. We had done the tour of the Midway a couple days prior, and it was well worth it. We ended up spending the whole day there, and I highly recommend it if you ever get the chance. It's a great experience, but allow yourself plenty of time. There's really a lot to see. These charter boats don't have a radio in the cockpit, and in my opinion, that's a real disadvantage because it's very difficult to hear the radio from down below, even with it turned up. And then if you turn it up too loud, you get some distortion. The last time I was here, I'd brought my little handheld radio and had that in the cockpit. There is quite a bit of activity with the naval vessels, but they usually give you several hours notice when they'll be bringing something in or out of the bay and let you know what distance you need to stay away. So I think it's a real advantage to have a handheld if you don't have a radio in the cockpit. Sailing under the Coronado Bridge never disappoints. The bridge is pretty impressive. I wasn't provided with any specs on the boat, but I was pretty sure our mast would clear. And as you can see, we had plenty of room. The wind was pretty light in the bay, so we decided to head for open water. On our way out, we passed this impressive naval vessel on its way in. Again, sailing in San Diego never disappoints. How fun is that? As I said earlier, they usually make announcements several hours before a vessel comes or goes, but we couldn't hear most of the announcements because the radio was below and very difficult to hear with the wind and the sails. Anyway, most vessels are large and easy to see. We sailed directly towards a submarine, which I didn't notice right away, and then the gunboat approached to wave us off. You see the gunboat here. The soldiers seemed very courteous. They did, however, hang around and make sure they were positioned to easily come between us and the submarine. I have to say, seeing the submarine was probably the highlight of the day for me. Terribly exciting. I'd never seen one underway before. We did see another large vessel on our way back in, so that made a total of 3 for the day. We had great wind in the open water, and we just chose our point of sail based on the wind, trimmed the sails for a beam reach, and sailed directly out into the Pacific Ocean for about an hour or so, and then turned around and sailed back on the opposite point of sail. I guess we must have spent about a total of 8 hours sailing. You can see the city of San Diego there in the distance behind the submarine. Great day sailing and another great adventure. I hope you get the chance to sail San Diego sometime, and I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.